Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Universes Academy podcast. I'm your host, John Jennings. With me, as always, behind the scenes, we have Mr. Ryan Kraft, and with me, as always, on screen, we have Mr. Matt Childress. Matt, it has been a little while since we have done anything. Well, you've been putting out the deck profiles, but as far as the big shindig,
yeah, we haven't had an episode of the pod in a minute for sure.
Yeah.
And you know, and real life happens sometimes, you know. And that's all that's going on. You know, like we're equally still excited about set 3 and getting ready. And like you said, I've been extra excited. So I've been trying to make some other deck preview videos, kind of get people excited, share some of my ideas. Cause right now I got like 20 decks made on Ultra, just ready to go. Completely impractical. Can't build them all. Probably won't even be able to get most of the cards I need for them, but whatever. I'm excited. Our stores got officially sent us a picture of the product. They have it in store. So we are good for our pre-release this time. So my hype level is like 9,000. And also just to be back and recording a pod with you guys. I'm very excited to catch up.
Nice. Glad to hear that, man. Like you mentioned, real life stuff does happen. I will say full disclosure, I have been super busy recently with work stuff. Obviously, got the wife, got the kid, got the house. Also, I'm now taking care of my mom some of the time now. A few weeks ago, she called me at like 6 in the morning. It's like, so I've been like super dizzy like since 10 o'clock last night. Can you come take me to the hospital? I was like, yeah. Also, why didn't you call me at 10 o'clock last night?
You're like 10 o'clock last night and it's like 6 a.m.
Yeah. That's not it. So long story short, she's mostly fine. Turns out it's just a severe case of vertigo, which she is still getting over, because apparently vertigo is this insane thing. I've never had it happen, and I, hopefully pray it never happens. It just it comes on without warning. She's literally never had any issues with vertigo ever in her life. No one in our families have vertigo.
Yeah.
It just kind of came on, and I was talking to we were talking to the doctor, and he was like, yeah, vertigo is just kind of this crazy condition. No one really knows, like, really. Oh, I'm sure someone like actually knows, like, why
it's magic.
But man, I got something to say on that in a second. But he was just like, he's like, vertigo. It just it goes away when it goes away. Like, it could last like seconds. It can last months. And we're currently on 3 weeks of it with her. She can get around the house okay, but she still can't drive and everything like that. So, but like, having him like explain like what vertigo like is, he literally described it as to having crystals in your ear that like get unbalanced or something. There's like fluid, and like the crystals are supposed to like line up on top of each other, because it has to do with like your eyes sending messages to your brain and then back. And normally with
we don't got crystals in our head. This dude
when the crystals are lined up, man, your eyes are all good. Your eyes are good. But when the crystals get all out of balance and out of whack, the messages in your brain get crazy.
He's making sure you come back and he gets that paycheck. That's what he's making sure of.
Man, he was the ER doctor. I don't know. He ain't getting money. I mean, he getting the state's money, because my mom's on that state employee insurance. So that's the.
Well,
but yeah,
hopefully she continues to recover, man. That's
yeah. Thank you. I appreciate it. Like I said, she's mostly fine now. She can get around the house and stuff okay, but she's still got like. And of course, it's like the whole parent thing. We're like, I'm fine, just if I turn my head slightly, the entire room spins. Like, that's not fine.
Right. Like it's like I'm on a merry-go-round all the time. I just don't know how to get off.
Exactly. But yeah. Other than that, there's been a little bit of news come along through the
some things have happened.
CCG, some things have happened. There's been some news about different editions and things like that. But more importantly, the most important thing that happened is that the Universes Academy Fantasy League Season 1 wrapped up.
It did.
And taking it home was none other than Mr. Andrew Holder of Go Beyond Gaming, coming in first place with 65 points.
Woo.
Second place was Dave Wagner with 54.
Okay.
So there was an 11-point difference between those two.
It's not too bad.
And what's even more impressive about Dave had an event in which he scored 0 points and still came in second place.
Oh man.
Third place, we had UA's own Chris Smith coming at 51. Tim Keefe, Mr. Satonis, had 46 points, and then Ryan Kraft bringing up the rear with 33. But there you go. Those are the final standings. So again, congratulations, Andrew.
Well played, sir. Well played. I guess drafting Momo is a good call, huh?
Yeah. Turns out that first pick, pretty important. Yeah. Obviously Team Unfun Stuff won the RLE, and they won our fantasy league in the same week, on the same day, technically. As
Yeah.
soon as
He really got
Jose took
Jose
down
in
that
as a ringer. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah.
that's what it came down to. Yeah.
Well, actually, I don't think Andrew had Toga on his team, but
Did he not?
but
Oh well.
yeah, no. But nice little segue there onto the RLE, and obviously we had that over the last weekend.
Another
Mr. Jose
online
Naranjo,
RLE.
yeah, the online RLE. Jose took it down playing Life Toga over
Yeah.
Life Momo, I believe, in the finals, right? Ryan Field, I think, was
Uh,
playing.
yeah, sounds right. I did not get to watch the finals. I watched some of the other parts of the event, and I just had other IRL stuff going on that I couldn't watch the finals. But I know Jose and Bromley have been real big on that, and even Andrew as well, real big on that Life Toga build. So glad to see it kind of got over it. Like, and that's kind of like what they were talking about is like it has a pretty good Momo matchup, you know, and that's kind of what you need right now. And then it doesn't do a terrible job. Like it's not going out of its way to beat Momo. It just kind of does what it does, and that sometimes just beats Momo, you know, or can beat Momo. So that means that it's not, you know, really going out of its way, which means that it's able to play against the rest of the field just fine as well. So, you know, I'm glad to see that be the case. And even further, it's kind of nice to end the RLE season for the meta for season 2 or whatever, or season 3, I guess. Yeah, season 3, set 2 meta, sorry, with a new character winning it, and even further, a set 2 character winning it. So that's pretty sweet.
That was really cool. And more importantly, I think, wasn't it Alleyway Ambush, the card that like won that deck? Because
I didn't want to talk about
like
it.
3 or 4 Alleyway ambushes. No, we're going to talk about it. That is amazing. That it wasn't just a set 2 card. It was a set 2 card that we all poo-pooed and shat on and said, this card's terrible. Maybe someone will find a deck for it someday in the future. But who fucking cares now? This card is garbage.
I want you to know. I want you to know. I think Bromley is on a mission to make me eat those words. Like I think he is just constructing decks with set 2 characters where he's like, Alleyway Ambush could be good in this one. We're putting it in there. Let's watch it. Let's see what happens. You know. And to be fair, you get to a critical mass of those. Like you said, if you get like 3 or 4 of them, and you get to a point where you're like, I just got to check 5s and I win the game. You know, like she makes them all at least 5 speed, 5 damage. Yeah, like. That's assuming she has nothing else in play to buff the damage or do anything else with. So, like, that's not bad at that point. Like, check out 5, deal 5. Okay, let's see how hot I can burn.
Yeah, and obviously, if you're running Life, you get someone with style. You get a precious lesson to help you keep refreshing foundations, that kind of stuff. I think I saw the final picture of it because it was also like at least 2, if not 3, tongue whips. As well, I think. So I don't know. I didn't watch it either, so I don't know if it was like a.
I'm sure there was some
like
passing the torches along the way and other things like that to kind of buff up your hand.
Yeah, like kind of like waiting to craft the right hand, and then just like, all right, well, I've got all these. You didn't kill me, so here's 10 attacks.
Right.
Or something.
Did you hold on to 6 cards and pass your last turn? No. Okay. Well, I guess I might just kill you this turn then. You know.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it took multiple turns as well. I don't think it's a one time.
Yeah. But also like, oh, Momo loves to block. Well, Toga says, okay, well, if you block, you still take damage. You still ping you. And you block and build down Rising Starlet. Well, it doesn't matter because I'm negating that basically.
Yeah, you net nothing. Like it's a break even kind of exchange, which again is really detrimental for what the Momo deck is trying to do. Like that's probably the biggest advantage there for the Toga deck is that you're losing 1, but you're keeping her from gaining 1. So that goes a long way. And if she blocked and took like off block to try to do it or something like that, then she ended up losing even more. So I am glad that deck takes a character I didn't think was very good, a card I still don't think is very good, and won an RLE with it. And I think some of that's just testament to Jose and Unfun Stuff's team of players just being incredible players and crazy deck pioneers. But at the same time, you know, they're getting there and I'm not. So, you know, I'm not knocking it. You know, well played, guys.
I've got. They're recording right now. They're streaming. I've got them up right now on my other screen that they're brewing with the boys. And they've actually got Jose on right now. And I'm not great at reading lips, but I'm pretty sure he's saying Matt's a fucking idiot. I can't believe how stupid he is. He thought this card was bad.
Yeah, probably.
I think Bromley just came on too to just give him one.
He just brought in the chair and just like,
there's a cutout of you holding the cards. Like, what is it?
There you go, crop it.
But yeah, I thought the top 16 there was a lot of interesting stuff going on. 2 eraser heads. You had I think Corey Aguilar and Daniel Nelson on Void Eraser Head. That was cool. You had the Water Zero Life Ibarra.
Yeah. So here's what I'll say. I know a lot of people did not enjoy the set 2 meta, and it's gone on longer than it probably needed to, right? Like it's not a solved meta by any means, but it is a very well established meta.
Mhm.
And even as well established as it is, our top 16s still look very diverse. Like top 8, top 16, it's never been 50% one character. It's never been, here's a character off of all 3 symbols, like stuff that we had even in like set 1 when it first launched with Kirishima and all, right? Like
Mhm.
say what you will, yes, Momo is the elephant in the room. Since the Asui, hits and nerfs, she kind of just took another step forward while nothing else kind of closed that gap quite as well. Clearly, the Toga deck and some others are capable of doing it. But the meta still looks pretty healthy. Like it's pretty diverse. And to me, that's encouraging. It doesn't bother me personally quite as much if one deck is kind of the dominant deck, like the go to, like this is probably going to win the event, but it doesn't always win. It's just kind of the best deck at the moment. And hopefully that ends up being even more decks and it's a closer, a smaller gap between them, I guess, that S tier and A tier kind of thing going into set
Mhm.
3.
If I kind of agree with that. I think if anything, this shows us just how dominant the life symbol was, right? Because it was a
Well,
lot
Fate Shield's a
of
hell of a card.
Faith Shield, Tongue Whip, Release, Rescue Completed, Cannon Blast.
Look, man, here's what I'll say. A lot of those Cannon Blast and Fate Shield are the ones that are those new additions, right?
Mhm.
Life was fine in set 1. Set 2, it took a big step forward because of those other cards and additions, and that's really what's put it over.
Yeah.
And because Momo was around and she had life the entire time, and she was not dominating set 1. She was competitive. There were a couple players who really committed to her, made some top cuts, and did some things with her, but
I mean,
she
Life
was
Momo
not.
wasn't really in set one.
Yeah, it was normally good, but
Yeah.
and the good build's not bad right now either, but it's just not the life build because it doesn't have Fate
Mhm.
Shield and it doesn't have some of these other cards we were talking about. So I don't know. I think you're not wrong. Like I think um it's mainly like I said, that Faith Shield interaction where it's an omni block, and then even further, it
Mhm.
also disrupts their offense. So like it makes combo worse. It makes so many other things more difficult to do. And it's hard to play through. So
Yeah. But I will be interested to see moving into set 3 with Heroes Clash how the Momo decks, especially that specifically that Life Momo deck, if it is still this I just block pretty mostly everything unless you do have, the 3 tongue whips, the 3 or 4 LOA ambushes randomly in your deck,
yeah.
then sure, maybe you get me. But
Yeah. I mean, like
I will be interested to see how that goes.
she's still susceptible to being committed out, right? Like she
Mhm.
can't block if she's tapped out. Now granted, sure, she can destroy one and then try to like reduce some speed and then block and build one down kind of thing,
Mhm.
but like that's or build one down after she's blocked kind of thing, but like that's really slow and she's not getting ahead in that situation. Um, so I think some decks, the good Midoriya deck, that's the thing I kept pointing out to people in the preview was that this deck has like a pile of stun in it now between
Mhm.
Alleyway or
Back
and then
alley.
yeah, Back Alley Haymaker and then the
Is it
new
wind up punch?
Wind Up Punch. Yeah, dude. Like those two plus Heroic Strike, like you're gonna commit down whoever you want to commit down, and you're gonna be swinging in for 9+ damage on most of your attacks. So I think that decks like that could be a
Yeah.
thing. So we'll see.
And I think we even had like I know Tim Keefe has talked about like the good All Might 3 deck. Obviously, Chris, we all know Chris Smith. Obviously, the good All Might 3 deck. He's come very
Mhm.
close, and he's talked about a lot about like what that deck's what kind of gas it has into what kind of play it has into the Momo Life deck, where you do have like you're adding the stun to, you're adding the speed and that kind of stuff, and then heroic strike tapping stuff down. That's the kind of deck that gives you those kind of plays into it. Good just doesn't have quite the defensive
Right.
abilities that some of the other symbols do. But yeah, we also I'm trying to think of what else. There was a K2 on fire that I thought was really cool.
Mhm.
I don't think we've seen a non Kirishima 2 Earth since the Orlando RLE. I think there was a fire Kirishima 2 there, but I
Yeah,
don't
there
think we've
was.
really seen one in a top cut since then.
Yeah, yeah. Most of the time he defaults to Earth.
Yeah.
I didn't get to, like I said, I didn't actually get to see that deck played any.
Hmm.
To check out the list or anything. But I would be interested to see why they leaned towards Fire, which cards in particular they went towards
Hmm.
over Earth, which Earth just kind of has that whole kit and all. So I don't
Hmm.
know. We'll see. I mean, again, I think it's a pretty healthy meta. Clearly, K2 and Momo were kind of like the front runners, but like your Giros, your Eraser Heads, like
Hmm.
I'm trying to think of some of the other characters that you consistently see making these top cuts.
Zero
So,
one.
Sarah one sometimes, Sato sometimes. Like there's a handful of characters that on any given day are making a top cut. Um, So I don't know. I think, like I said, I think the meta's pretty good, and I think it's only gonna get better with set three. Legitimately, like I
Tokoyami.
think, yeah, the bird, man, bird's the
Mhm.
word.
Um, but yeah, so one thing we have moving forward here in these few weeks between this final RLE and nationals is store provisionals.
Yeah,
Hey, that thing provisionals were always meant to be is actually happening. That's really cool.
yeah. Store
Uh,
officials are a really cool idea.
mhm.
So like little history there. They used to do like premiere store events once a month, and premiere stores would be like your Cadillac stores for Jazzco.
Legendary Wolf,
Oh,
Rochester. Yeah.
well, it wasn't even
Or
just those big ones. Like it's just
okay.
so basically it was a status. Your store had to buy a certain amount, like agree to buy a
Ah, I
certain amount
got
of
you.
product and
Okay.
keep it in stock, and they had to do it over a certain amount of time. And basically, like you earned that status, and with it, they would do a special play mat during the month, and they would do
Okay.
other things like that. And it was supposed to be like a big monthly tournament that people kind of travel around to. So like I went down to Atlanta for a few of them,
Hmm.
things like that, because we didn't have one here locally. But we are going to have a local store provisional. So
Yep.
if you guys can make it, definitely try to come out for that.
October
It is,
23rd. It's a Sunday.
yeah, October
Empire
23rd.
Games, Anderson, South Carolina.
Yeah, so definitely come and try to make it out for that if you can. Should be a good crew, should be a good event. I think some of the guys from Somerville are going to try to come up. A bunch of our guys locally are going to be there. Some of the guys from maybe North Carolina and the
Or
Georgia
Atlanta.
areas outside of
Yeah.
Atlanta, yeah, might try to be making it up as well. So should be a good event. Will still be, I believe, set two is what we're going with, because set three releases that weekend. So that's kind of not real fair to say it's going to be set three.
Yeah. I don't know. I will not be playing in it, so I don't know. But yeah, so we got that coming up. But at any rate, the overall just having store provisionals, I think is really cool because now we get to find out kind of like, hey, this is what these are really kind of more meant to be, how these are going to kind of function. Obviously, right now there's kind of like what a 2 or 3 week period between because
That
it's
was a
what starting
It was like a 3-week
Monday
period where you could
or
have these store provisionals, and I think that's just more so because they're trying to get it in by the end of the
yeah,
season,
yeah.
and then they'll have the new season, and you can sign up for that season, and it'll probably stretch over that 3 or 4 months or whatever.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I feel like this is very much a product of like we can kind of get these out by this date. We want to have them done before nationals, so there's
Mhm.
gonna be just kind of this huge influx of them. It's gonna be like obviously people are gonna have these season three provisional cards because of that. But I think moving forward with the next season, with season four, I think we will see more of a spaced out kind of timeline for
Right.
store provisionals. So that way, maybe you can do like, oh, the one weekend there's one in Atlanta, next week there's one in Charlotte, next week there's one in Somerville. You can, or maybe even 2 weeks or 3 weeks between them. You can kind of spread them
Sure.
out over several months as opposed to everyone's trying to cram theirs all in that 3 week
Right.
period. Yeah.
Right, yeah, looking at the lineup, it's like literally for 1 week, there's like 1 every day somewhere in
Yeah.
the country, like, it's not all
Hmm.
in one region or anything like that, like, they're spread across the country, but it is, like,
Hmm.
every single day, so that'll be interesting to see how that plays out, like you're saying, it'll definitely be an influx of the promo cards into the
Hmm.
environment, which is great, and then even further, like, see if people are, like, posting those results to kinda see, you know, what's changing, how the meta is growing, all that sort of stuff.
Hmm.
If it's just a whole bunch of momos that are still winning, or if people are going to do, set three is legal maybe for theirs if it's after the release, and they're going to be like, hey, by the way, here's a whole bunch of that, and see what's
Yeah.
kind of dominating. Because I believe Nats is the first event where set three is fully legal.
Yes. The
Um,
first
so
official big like major event. Yep.
yeah, which is going to be crazy. So it'll be interesting to see what people figure out and kind of go with in between now and then.
Yeah. It'll be, I imagine it'll be very reminiscent of the Vegas RLE, right? Because that was the first one with set two, where set two was legal.
Right.
Um, and obviously that was the one Tim Keefe won with Tokoyami. So I imagine it'll be very reminiscent of that. A lot of the unknown, a lot of everyone. Well, this was what was dominating my local play group, so hopefully it has play into what other play groups are doing, right?
Right. Yeah, and that's kind of the fun part of it is like what broke stuff did we figure out? Oh, what broke stuff did they figure out? Who figured out the more broke stuff? Um,
Yeah.
who was able to kind of glimpse a general perspective of what the meta may actually be, like what decks are going to be pretty good, and then what has good matchup into those decks.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, I'm trying to think. We've done pretty much a lot of our catch-up stuff. We will try to put some stuff out more with a little more regularity moving forward. I know, Matt, I know you said you're going to keep doing your deck profiles and stuff like that. Do you have another one set up, planned that you're thinking about, ready to go? I know you talked about maybe doing midnight or something, or
Yeah, no, I haven't made one for midnight yet. Because I'm not real sure which build over I actually want to go with. So that one will
Okay.
probably be later once I'm actually confident in which one I enjoy a little bit more. But yeah, this week we do have another one. It is a set 3 character. I'll give that spoiler.
Ooh,
And that'll be dropping later this week. Probably in a day or two after the pod comes out. Make sure that everyone can get it and get hyped for set 3. Try to have it out before then.
nice.
So yeah, it's been fun. Like I love building decks, so
Hmm.
this is right up my alley. So I'm gonna keep trying to churn those out. Ideally one a week, but once the set comes out, and I'm going to Nats, so I gotta get a lot of playtesting in. So it
Yeah.
might slow down, might become like one every other week or something like that. I don't know, but I felt like at the very least get some people excited about some of the set 3 cards and see how they might modify some decks that they're already playing. So
Hmm. Very cool. Very cool. Um, well, I think that's pretty much what we wanted to cover tonight. Like I said, just kind of easing back into the podcast a little bit,
yeah,
right? It's been a little bit. Gotta shake the rust
Yeah,
off. Gotta.
guys, we missed you. So we just wanted to kind of catch up and talk to you and see how you've been, see how things are
Yeah.
going. And yeah, we appreciate everyone who's been listening. We've been doing this a little bit over a year now.
Hmm.
So that's really exciting. And appreciate everyone who already likes and subscribes and follows us on all the different socials. But if you don't, make sure to click like and subscribe and follow
There
us
it
down
is. There it
below. It
is.
definitely helps us out. Because
Gotta
that way you get those
do the
notifications.
algorithm things.
Yeah, as Chris would say. Um, and leave us your thoughts in your comments. If you're like angry that we've been gone for so long, just tell us that it's
Hmm.
cool. We won't take it personally, even though that's clearly a personal attack.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
we
I'll
definitely
tell Janice you're very mad at her for having me gotta go. Okay.
sorry your mom got sick.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean, hopefully that resolves itself soon and things are getting back to normal. We can kind of get back to a rhythm as well. And
Yeah.
yeah, keep on making some content for you guys, and we appreciate you listening.
Yeah. And obviously, good luck to everyone at your pre-releases that will be this weekend. And hopefully, may all your pulls be XR SRs in Chrome Rares.
Oh man, those Chrome Rares.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, obviously, God, we didn't even talk about that. Chrome
Yeah,
Rares. Oh my
oh,
God.
God.
So that was, yeah, like
Yeah.
I'm sure everyone else. I was watching those things. Those things look so cool. Obviously, man. Also, they're numbered, so it's like what,
Mhm.
like however many out of was it 100?
There's
There's
100
what?
total. They're only in first edition, and they're all uniquely numbered. So there's number 1, and there's only one copy of that. Number 2, one copy of that. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's gonna be really cool. Even further, John, you got your Ida in there, right? Well, it's not your Ida.
It's Eda 3. It's Eda
Yeah,
3.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I
not
mean,
the Ida.
I like Eda 3. I don't care.
Yeah. I think so. Which one's your favorite? Which one do you think looks coolest? Before we go, which one do you think looks coolest?
Probably Eda. I mean, that Bakugo looked really good.
Yeah.
Um, I like Bakugo a lot, but I like the Eda a lot. What about you?
So I love the Bakugo artwork. Like I do think that's probably my favorite artwork
Mhm.
standpoint. I
But
just
it's
wish it
not
was
Bakugo
Bakugo
1,
1.
is it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's
Bakugo
Bakugo 2.
2. And to be fair, I think Bakugo 2 is totally fine.
Mhm.
He's probably actually better than I give him credit for. I just haven't found a build of him that I was excited about yet. Um, but he's probably my favorite. The Midoriya, though, is Midoriya 2. And while I
Mhm.
don't love the artwork, man, I would love to have that Midoriya 2 Chrome Rare. Whoa,
Yeah.
boy. So that's the one that I'm gonna pray to the card pulling gods about and sacrifice some other packs of cards and light them on fire or something. I don't know, whatever I gotta do.
Mm. I will say I was kind of surprised to see Kaminari 1 or not Kaminari 1,
Kirishima.
Kirishima 1 instead of like Kaminari 1 or something.
Yeah, I
Just
think it's
because
because
no
yeah,
one plays Kirishima 1
yeah.
anymore. So
I think it's because it's got his actual like the redo abilities on him, so that's kind
yeah.
of cool. But you're
I
not
mean the card
wrong.
looks great. It looks really
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, it does look really good. Well, I was also surprised that it was Shoto 1 instead of Shoto 2, but then I realized they made the RLE Shoto 2, so I guess it makes
Yeah.
sense. And Shoto
Mhm.
1, for the record, you heard it here first. Don't be surprised if there's a good build of Shoto 1 in set 3. You heard it here first,
I
guys.
mean, there's already good builds of Shoto 1.
There's
I
not.
mean,
He's lying to you, but there
I
will be.
watched no. I watched Tam rip through obviously it wasn't like a big event, like it was an unfun event with a fire Shoto deck. He just ripped people apart.
Yeah. I think the character is actually a lot better than people acknowledge now
Hmm.
because he can play defense now. Set 1, he
Oh yeah.
couldn't really survive stuff. Now he's got some more tools to survive off his symbols. So, um,
Yeah.
yeah. Maybe that'll be one of the preview lists or decks that I'll do for everybody. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
Oh, okay. That'd be cool. That'd be cool. But yeah, I believe that's gonna do it for us, guys. Like Matt said, we appreciate everyone listening. It felt good to get back out here and talk to everybody. And as always, we hope you guys have a great week.
Yeah,
Bye.
thanks.
Thanks
See
for
you guys.
listening.
Have a good one.